morning. Welcome to Sunrise Yoga. And this morning's class, we're focusing on hands and shoulders, but primarily shoulders because I cue a lot of hands in every class. So we will do some hand warm-ups and some hand positioning, but most of the class will be focused on what we can do to strengthen and protect our shoulders. So first, I just want to do a little show and tell here. The muscles in our shoulder girdle, all the muscles all around our shoulder, and this is the one we want to focus on most this morning. It's called the Serratus Anterior, and it's a big muscle that goes from the ribs, that connects the ribs, your upper ribs, to the center of your shoulder blades. So it wraps around underneath your arm and then connects between the shoulder blades. It's a very important muscle for lifting our arms, but it's also a very important muscle when we're doing push-ups or bearing weight on our hands, which is one of the most rotator cuff injuries are common in life and also in yoga. So we want to work on being aware of that and preventing it. So let's begin today on our mat. So lie down completely flat on your mat and just settle in with your breath. So just lower down, palms up, and allow yourself to relax. Draw your attention to your breath and just sort of settle into the support of the earth and begin to breathe. So full breaths in, feel that expansion, chest, ribs, and belly, and then exhale, knit it back in, belly, ribs, chest. And do a few full breaths on your own. Just beginning to bring yourself completely here this morning. And now let's begin adding just a little bit of movement. So we're going to scoot our shoulders over to the right edge of our mat. So you're in the center of your mat. You're going to just wiggle your shoulders over to the right edge of your mat. And then likewise, move your feet over to the right edge of your mat. So you're coming into a half moon crescent shape with your body, lateral opening on the left side of your body. And if you want to take it just a little bit deeper, you take your arms overhead, take opposite hands to elbows, and allow the shoulders to open. And you can take your left foot over your right and allow that deepening of the left side opening. So just pause here for a couple more breaths. Lateral opening, nice shoulder opening. And then wiggle yourself back to center. Take your arms overhead. And then do the same thing on the opposite side. So wiggle your shoulders over to the left edge of your mat. Take your feet over to the left edge. Hands to opposite elbows above your head. And then if you want, you can cross your right ankle over your left so that you're in a crescent shape and your right side of your body is opening up. Couple of deep breaths here. And then wiggle your way back to center. Another full body stretch. Fingers to toes, and then just pause here for a moment. Let's take our hands above our shoulders. So straight up toward the sky. Flex your hands so as if you're pressing your hands on the ceiling. And we're just going to take a moment here before we start bearing weight on our hands to think about it. We want to be sure when we put weight on our hands, we're always spreading the weight between the ball of the big thumb, the ball of the index finger, and the ball of the pinky finger, but mostly on that inner edge of your hand, avoiding putting weight out on the outer edge and the wrist. So that's one thing we want to be aware of. We call that the 3 points of the hand. So think of a triangle and distribute the weight there. The other thing, specifically for shoulders today, is press your hands. Let's practice making our arms. We're not going to bend them, but just practice pressing your arms away from each other, like away from your body, and feel the shoulder blades going apart. Maybe your shoulders are rolling in a little bit, and then draw your shoulders back. So draw your arms, make them short, and notice what happens with your muscles. So as you press your arms away from each other, away from your body, you notice like the muscles on the inner edge of your forearm are starting to turn on, and at that point your serratus anterior is also turning on as you're pressing away. And then as you draw back, shortening your arms, the back side of your body, the muscle called the traps, which is a big long muscle in the back of your body, are engaging. That's bringing your shoulder blade back on your spine. And when we're in planks and bearing weight on our hands, we want both of those things happening at the same time. So you're pressing away and at the same time pulling back. And that's what's giving the strength and protection to your shoulder. So let's draw your knees into your chest now. And we're going to place the tops of our hands on the tops of the knees, and we're going to rock and roll our way. So take about 5 rocks to rock and roll your way from your mat all the way up. Just go forward and back a few times, get some momentum, and then cross your legs maybe at the top and come onto your table position. So whatever way you manage to get there, pause in table, and as you put your hands down, think about what we just talked about with where you're bearing the weight on your hands, how you're protecting your shoulders. Index fingers slightly toward the corner, they're pointing forward but slightly out, bearing weight across your hands, mostly on the inner edge. And now let's step our right foot back, take the right toes down, and we're going to do a little hand warm up. So just press through the right heel and then forward. So coming over a little bit forward of the wrist and forward and back. This is warming up the wrist. It's also warming up the calf. So forward and back a few times. And then bring the right knee down, and we're going to flip our hands. So rotate the fingers so they point to your body. So your thumbs are out, your fingers are toward your body, and we're going to take the left foot back. Ground the toes, same thing. So be gentle. This is a different way of moving your wrists. Press your heel back, open the top or underside of your wrist, and then blow forward and back a few times here. So we're going to go through all the different, or many of the different ways to move our hands, to warm up the wrists and the hands. And then coming back to center, bringing the left knee down, and we're going to rotate our hands one more time. Let's go to wide, normal position, fingers toward the top of the mat, but take them wide toward the outer edge and maybe rotate them out a bit more. So fingers pointing out to the sides. And we're going to just make big torso circles. So lower the chest, roll out to the right wrist, press up, and then roll out to the left wrist. Make big lateral torso circles. So we're again warming up the spine, warming up the wrists. And then take it in the opposite direction. So go to the left, up, and then to the right. A few times. And then coming back to center, we have one more, and please be careful with this one. We want to take our hands, tops of the hands, down on the mat underneath the shoulders, but be gentle. Maybe you set your hips back just a little to take some of the weight off. And then roll the thumb in toward the center of the hand. You can curl your fingers if you'd like. And we're going to just very gently put weight on the tops of your hands in this shape. So just lean just a slight bit forward, finding that opening on the tops of your hands. And shifting the hips back a little, coming off of your hands. And we're going to take the left hand, plant it fingers forward, right under your nose. So normal position. Inhale, sweep the right arm up overhead, and exhale down. Let's do this a couple of times. Just flow. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And this time we'll hold. So inhale, arm above the head, and just breathe here for a couple of breaths. Then exhale, bring the right hand down, right under your nose, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Open to the left, flow a couple of times, up and down, and up and down, and hold at the top. And then bring both hands back to the mat. One more thing before we come up. Let's come onto our knees. We're going to place our hands in front of us, straight out, and then take the palms together. So cross the arms and then rotate so that the palms come together and you interlace your fingers. Your arms are crossed. And we're going to draw the fingers in toward the chest, round the spine, tuck the chin, and then press the hands away from each other, away from your body. And then back, round and tuck. So again, more work on the wrists. And you can feel in this movement, just notice as you draw in, what's going on with your shoulder blades. Where are they going? More. Pause. And then press back out. Maybe a little up. Release the bind of your hands. Let your arms flow down to the side. And now we'll come back onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're going to do one more thing with our, just kind of figuring out that engagement of our shoulders. So as you press down into your hands, like press your hands away from your body. Notice, allow the upper back, the space between your shoulder blades to go away from each other a little bit. And then we're going to sink our chest in between our arms and notice the shoulder blades coming back into position, drawing toward each other. So press the arms away, spread the shoulder blades, and then allow the chest to sink in between the shoulders and draw the shoulder blades back onto the back. This is called scapular push-ups. Just a little bit of movement to strengthen the serratus anterior, those muscles on the side of your chest. Continue flowing a couple more times, sinking, and then pressing back up. And now taking all that we've practiced here with our hands, the weight bearing, the strengthening of the shoulders, let's tuck our toes and we'll slowly unfold into down dog. So let's bring our knees up a couple of inches. Begin to press into those hands, get nice and strong. Draw the shoulder blades back into position and then press the hips up. Slowly releasing one heel, bend the other knee, and then bend the first knee, lengthen the other heel, and just slowly release, keeping weight mostly on the inner edges of your hands, so on the index finger ball, not letting it roll out to the outer edges of your wrists. Once you've pedaled a little bit, just lengthen both heels toward the earth. Press up through the hands, ball of the finger, index finger strong. Shoulders strong, tight V in your hips. Feeling length and strength. The soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Then tiptoe your feet toward your hands at the top of the mat. Take hands to opposite elbows and allow yourself to dangle. Let the thighs and torso connect. Head and neck are heavy. Next, inhale, keeping your knees bent. Sweep the arms wide and rise up. Hands overhead and release. So we'll do a full sun salutation flow. We'll get really warmed up here, and then we'll do a few more things with our shoulders. So inhale, fingers to the sky. Exhale, fold. Hinge at the hips, reach forward and back and down. And then halfway up, hands on shins. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lowering down all the way or part of the way. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward. Left foot follows. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Let's do one other side. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, peeling up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Exhale, right foot follows. Fold. Inhale, rise. Let's take our hands to our hips, and we're going to step our left foot back. So straight back, stay on the ball of your back foot. So get that leg really strong. Separate your legs widthwise, so you're not on a balance beam, you're on skis. And we're going to sweep our hands overhead. Balance movement already in class. So we're going to shift forward the weight onto the right foot and lift the back heel up off the earth, the ball of the back foot off the earth, and then exhale down. So inhale up, exhale forward. Reach the arms forward, the foot back, and then exhale down. Inhale, exhale, press position, and then exhale down. Inhale, shift And continue at your pace. Couple more. Flowing in and out of warrior 3. And the next time you find yourself in warrior 3, so your heel is pointing back toward the back of the room, then let's take our hands, sweep them by your side, and maybe you make fists and bring your hands together in the center of your back, or maybe you can take your hands into reverse prayer. Depends on the flexibility of your shoulders. Just pause here for a moment, whichever shape, opening the fronts of your shoulders, strengthening the traps, those big muscles on the back of your body, lifting you up. And then let the left foot come down, sweep the arms overhead, take the left ball of the left foot and move the heel where the ball is so your whole foot is grounded, toes are slightly pointing out, and we're going to fold over the front leg, so lengthen the front leg, hinge at the hips, keep a slight bend in the front knee, reach forward with your fingers, back with your hips, and then allow your hands to come down. So they may come down on your shin, they may come down on the mat. Lengthen here. Couple of breaths. And then once again, you have the option of taking your hands, maybe making fists and pressing your hands behind your back, pressing your fists together, or coming into that reverse prayer shape. And really lengthening, crown of the head forward, hips back. This is a bit of a safer, protective position. Then some people interlace their fingers and bring their hands above their head. And that can place a lot of stress on your shoulders. So I'm encouraging this morning instead to just keep your hands planted on your back, fists together or reverse prayer, protecting your shoulders. Next inhale, rising up, unbind your hands, and we will step forward, so hands to the hips, stabilize, and then step forward, left foot, and we'll take our right foot back. So reach it back, come to the ball of the right foot, really get nice and stable, feet hip distance apart, same flow, so sweep the arms overhead. We're going to inhale, and then exhale, bend the front knee and allow the right heel to come off the mat. And then come back, inhale back up, exhale down, inhale back up. And continue this flow at your breath pace. Next time you find yourself with your heel up, forward position, heel up, move your hands to your back, and either press the fists together or reverse prayer. Pause here with your breath, stabilize, press back through that heel, really get strong in the back leg. And then step the right foot down. Look where the ball of the foot is and place the heel there. So angle the toes out a little. And we're going to sweep our hands overhead. Lengthen the front leg, hinge at the hips, and fold forward over the left leg. Now keep a slight bend in the left knee and maybe bring your hands to shins or fingers to mat and fold. Once you're stable here, you can take your hands once again, make a fist, and press the fists together in the center of your back, or come into reverse prayer. And just work with breathing and releasing. Next, inhale, rising up, releasing the hands, placing the hands on the hips and stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Now we're going to all come to knee plank today because we're going to work mainly with our shoulders. So bring your knees down, and that way you have a strong line from your knees to the crown of your head. And we're going to just work with the upper part of our push-ups today, or our planks today. So keeping in mind what we talked about at the beginning of class, when you press down, your shoulder blades come apart, and then draw the arms just a little, allow the arms to sense that shortening, draw the shoulder blades onto your back. So draw them back together, strengthening both the forearm and the upper arm, and allow the elbows to bend just a little. Coming down just a little, and then pressing back up. Let's do that a couple of times. Exhaling down just a little, and inhaling back up. Pressing down, lowering, and up. Once more. And when we come up, let's take our left foot and angle it out toward the outside of your mat, so off the edge of your mat. We're coming into side plank here, but a supported version on our knee. So lengthen the right leg out, inner sole to the back edge of your mat, and we're going to open our right arm up toward the sky. So we're on side plank, but supported with our knee. Here again, we're working with the muscles of our back and our shoulder, finding strength, length up through the fingertips. And then bring the hand down, rotate toward the center of your mat, knees down. Let's do the same thing. So right foot comes off the edge of your mat, angles back. Inner arch of the left foot comes to the back edge of your mat. Rotate open, left arm up toward the sky. Again, drawing energy toward the midline of your body, shoulder blades toward each other, finding that engagement. And bringing both hands back down to the mat, both knees back down to the mat. And we're going to come onto our forearm plank. So step back once again into plank. Bring the knees down. And we're going to bring our forearms in front of us. So make a number 11 with your arms in front of you. Elbows right under your shoulders. Fist with your hands to find that strength in your wrists. And we're just going to pause here for a moment. Once again, working with that scapular push-up. So drawing the shoulder blades apart, allowing the shoulders to curl in just a little, and then lowering the chest in between the shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades together. So work with opening the shoulder blades and then bringing them back together. It's a pretty subtle movement, but it's very strengthening for your upper back and for those muscles that wrap around the shoulder. And now also bringing your awareness to your forearms and maybe feel them kind of dragging back toward, energetically dragging back toward your feet, so that you feel that turns on the core muscles, your low belly, your low ribs, probably just got stronger there for a moment. So feel that as you're moving your shoulder blades together and apart, drawing the elbows toward the toes, feeling that strength in the core as well. Now let's release. Tops of the feet come down, belly comes down, palms come to the earth, and we'll just come into our Sphinx pose for a moment. This is a release, so lengthening. And now let's press our way back up to table and allow the hips to come into child's pose. So let's tuck our toes, because we're going to flow here a little. Reaching the hips back, arms forward, child's pose, and then coming, unfolding, lifting the knees, down dog. Then exhale back down, knees come down, shift the hips back to child's. Inhale forward, exhale back up to down dog. Then lower, shift the hips back. Inhale forward, exhale, down dog. Continue that flow a few more times. Just really thinking about the stability in your hands. Where's the weight in your hands? If it's rolling to the outer edges, roll it back in toward the center. So we want to be sure that we're protecting our wrists, especially in any dynamic movements like this. And just next time you're in down dog, just pause there for a moment, lengthen, and then let's allow ourselves to come to our plank. Shift the weight back, lift the hips, right heel toward the sky. We're going to step it through to the right hand. Dial the left foot back, down, parallel to the back of the mat, leading with your left hand, rising up into warrior two. So, here we're going to once again work with our shoulders today. So, feet on the same, heels on the same line, arms forward and back. And let's bend our elbows and bring our palms of our hands toward our body. And draw the pinky fingers in toward our body. So what that's doing, you might notice, it's really turning on the biceps. And then, if you rotate the palms away from you, that might be, you might notice that's turning on the triceps, the muscles underneath your arms. So what we want to do, rotate your hands back toward your body. One more time. We want to keep both going on to strengthen our shoulders. So draw the pinky fingers toward you, and then slowly, without releasing that bicep engagement, rotate the palms out, and then lengthen the arms. Fingers go away from you nice and slow, keeping that engagement. And if you lose it, just re-engage, draw your hands back in. Lengthen, feel the fingertips getting soft while the shoulder blades are drawing together. The upper arms are really engaged. The fingertips can wiggle, they're soft. Then slowly allow your head to turn so your gaze is over the front fingertips. Soften the fingers, but keep the back strong. Pause here for a couple of breaths. And then lengthen the front leg. Tip the torso like you're pouring a cup of tea. And rotate the fingers vertically. So right fingers outside of the right thigh or right shin. Left fingers up toward the sky. Just lengthen into this triangle shape. Keep weight on the left heel, left ball of the foot. Light through the left fingertips, reaching toward the sky. Next inhale, coming back to warrior two, finding that shoulder engagement. Soften the fingers, soften your jaw, your face, the space between your eyebrows, just everything that doesn't need to be working here, let it be soft. Bring your hands to your hips. Rotate your toes to the long edge of your mat. Toes in, heels out. Hinge at the hips, fold forward. Slight bend in the knees, and take it all the way down. Fingers out in front of you. Allow the head and neck to release. Slowly walk your fingers toward the left toes, left foot. Rotate the toes toward the top of the mat. And we're going to come back into your plank. So rotate the back toes, step back into plank. Pause for a moment, really press the hands away. Draw the shoulder blades toward each other, finding strength all around the shoulder. Then press the hips up. Lift the left heel toward the sky and step the left foot forward between your hands. Dial the back sole down, parallel to the back of the mat. Reach the right arm forward and spiral your way up. Warrior two on the other side. The pause here, really get set with your feet. Finding that strength, and let's do the same thing with our arms. Draw the fingers, the palms toward us, pinky fingers in. Really find that strength, and then press the palms away. And slowly open the arms. And then soften. Everywhere you can, allow the fingers to get soft. Rotate the head slowly toward the front fingertips. Soften the fingers, soften your face, your brow. Breathe here. And then just like you're pouring out a cup of tea, rotate, lengthen front leg, and allow the fingers to touch down outside of the shin. Reach the right fingers toward the sky. Lateral opening, side body. Strengthening. Next inhale, reaching up through the top fingertips, come back into your warrior two. Bend the knee. Once again, draw in, slight bend in the elbows, find that engagement. Draw the shoulder blades toward each other and pause. Take the hands to the hips, rotate the toes to the long edge of your mat. This time, toes out, heels in. We're going to come into our wide-legged squat. And just, I feel like flowing this morning. So let's just take our hands, bend the right knee, drag the hands toward the right edge of your mat, and then bend the left knee, drag the hands to that side, and do that a few times so the hips are staying level. You're just kind of flowing, bending the knee, flowing side to side, not popping up in the middle. So using this to strengthen and open your hips, your inner thighs. Feel like a little bit of a river flowing, so that smooth motion. And then coming to center, sinking down, like lower the hips, bring the chest up, take the hands to inner thighs and shins. Really rotate those shoulder blades toward each other, so strengthen the upper back, chest is open, and pause here for a moment. Then take the hands to the hips, lengthen the legs. Heel toe the feet together, so toes in, heels in, toes in, and heels in until you get your feet back under you, and we'll come to the top of our mat. So the rest of class is just some shoulder releasing work, since we worked our shoulders a good amount this morning. So let's allow ourselves to come down into child's pose. So hands on the mat, knees on the mat, and just press your way back into child's. Relax here for a moment. Forehead to the mat. And just settle in. Reach the fingers as far forward as you can, so you're actually stretching the underarms. Then walking your hands back toward your body. Square up your knees if they're a little bit wide. And we're going to take the hands behind us. So take your hands right behind your hips, fingers toward you. And you can just open your chest this way. So chest wide. Or you can also bring your hips up. Keep the head in line with your spine, so don't let it hang back. So really keep the neck long here, in line with your spine. A little bit of a reverse table, reverse push-up shape. And then exhale down, hips down. Let's take our right hand. We'll do right hand in front of us, right angle in front of our face. And we'll take our left hand underneath, our left arm underneath, wrap it around. So maybe the palms of the hands come together. So it's called eagle pose. So if the palms of the hands don't come together, just make the backs of the hands come together. Wrap the arms, and we'll flow a little up. So lift the shoulders, lift the elbows, and then draw the elbows into the chest, round the spine. So breathing into the upper back here, and taking the elbows up and down. This is something you can do at your desk anytime, and boy does it feel like it's opening the shoulders. Next time you're parallel to the mat, sort of open, unravel, and do the opposite. So left arm right angle in front of you, right underneath, wrap it around, and either the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands come together. And then we'll flow elbows up and down toward the chest. A few times. Very simple shoulder opening movements. then releasing the bind, coming onto table. And we're going to take our right knee in front of our left. So cross the legs like you're sitting in a chair cross-legged. And we're going to sit our hips down in between our feet. So cow face, we just got here differently than we sometimes do. We're going to take our right arm up overhead, and we're going to bend it so that the palm of our right hand comes between our shoulder blades. Those blades that have been moving out and in throughout the whole class today. And we're going to take the left arm out to the side, thumb down, and take the back of the hand to the center of your back. So maybe your hands come together in the center of your back, but that's not important if they don't. Just press the hands into the back. And press your head into your forearm of your right arm like you are pressing into a headrest on your car or in a chair. Really reach the head back into the forearm. So length, opening the shoulder. Couple of breaths here. And then releasing the arms, unraveling, and we'll shift the weight back toward the front of our mat. And unwind the legs and take the right knee on top of the left, or the left knee on top of the right this time. And we're going to sit our hips back down. So we unwound our legs, rewound them the other way. Left knee is on top, so left arm goes up. Place it in the center of the palm of the hand, right between the shoulder blades. Right arm goes out, thumb down, back of the hand to the center of your back. And then press the head into the forearm, into your headrest. Lengthen up through the crown of the head, lean back, finding this opening. Unwinding the arms, shifting the weight forward once again. Unwinding the knees. Rotating them to the side and sitting down with your hips on the mat. So make sure you have room behind you to lay down, and let's lower slowly to the earth. So keep the soles of the feet, knees bent, lower down, using the strength of your core. We're just going to take our knees, our feet with mat width apart. So allow them to go wide, knees bent, and just windshield wiper side to side. Allow the knees to go one side and the other. After you've flowed for a little while, you might allow your knees to just come together in the center. Let's take a moment of active rest here. So just allow the knees, the hands to come down to your side, knees rest toward the center. Couple of breaths. And then let's take a full body stretch, fingers to toes, and find the shape you'd like to take this morning for Shavasana. So reach the fingers long, toes long, and then bring the hands down to a relaxed position. Feet relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Feel the support of the earth underneath your whole spine, your shoulders, your hips, your heels. And just settle in for a couple of minutes of silence. Drawing your attention to your breath in the center of your chest. And as you take your next deep inhale, feeling the expansion across your collarbones, drawing the shoulder blades back toward each other, and then exhale, releasing, drawing everything back in. Couple of full breaths, really feeling the opening in your chest and the knitting back in. And then next inhale, bring some small movements to your fingers and toes. Flex and release. Then making a pillow with your arms, rolling to one side for a couple more breaths. Then pressing your way up to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Wiggling your sit bones onto the earth. Sitting up nice and tall, hands relaxed on your thighs. Feel the breath flowing through that core channel of your body. Soft and smooth. Shoulders relaxed, away from the ears, softly resting on your back. Next inhale, fingers to the sky. Exhale, touch the fingers down to the earth. Inhale, bring the hands to heart center, allowing space between the palms for what you want to take away from today's practice. We'll seal our practice today with one collective sigh. Full inhale, open mouth, exhale. Namaha, Namaste.